masturbation. When we mention that topic, people think this is a man problem, but it cuts across. Women also struggle with the same, and we're going to get positives and negatives. For the negatives, we start with the first one, which is, desensitization. This is when you overstimulate the muscles due to either frequency or the mode of stimulation that you're going to use being too aggressive. You desensitize the nerves. That will be very essential when it comes to a partnered sex. So you might start feeling the difference between those two, which should not be the case. The second one is muscle fatigue. You are exercising or overusing pelvic floor muscles, especially when you're doing it frequently or maybe too aggressively. So the same muscles are the ones that really control the bladder. So to the washroom and back every now and then, or you might get discomfort. Know when to stop. Number 3, physical irritation. Can be due to frequency, aggressiveness, maybe there is no application, or maybe you made your nails, or the toys that you're using. Some of them are so ridiculous. You would think your neighbor decided to buy a dyno and they are tuning a V8 engine there, only to know that they're just doing that in their bedroom and power consumption is high, and those things should not be for human beings. Number 4, infections. You're using a toy. If it's not well cleaned or maybe it's shared, you might transmit infection between each other. Second, you might have kept it in a place which is dirty. Vagina is quite sensitive. pH or even organisms, you can easily introduce an organism there that will overgrow. Or you just change the pH of that place and everything is haywire from that point going forward. Or maybe it's shared. So you end up maybe sharing UTIs and STIs and it's a bad thing. So you can easily introduce an infection using the toys that you people usually use. Even if it's your hands, your fingers carries a lot of, bacteria. Number 5, guilt and shame. And this can come because of religion, culture, personal beliefs, society. And you might think, or just sit down and think that I'm not able to get a partner, so the closest thing that I can do to myself is masturbation. So I'm so terrible myself. And this can come with that guilt will come with the stress and so many other things. Like, for example, you start getting anxiety. If you're doing it out of distress, rather than just for fun, you might end up getting stressed, and this will give you anxiety. Number 7, interference with the human-to-human interactions and relationships. If it's getting to a point where you choose masturbation over a partner, then there is something wrong here, and you need to track back and try to fix the situation here, because you'll find that you have some toys out there that can outperform any living human being. And now you're trying to put the same standards onto a human being, so you end up each and every time choosing masturbation of a partner. So that's the wrong way of doing it. It's time people start thinking of therapy. Number 8, addiction, like in men. Now, you see, there is dopamine need to be involved here. And now, you're a little bit extreme because you have some toys somewhere in the closet, in the lower drawer. So each and every time, you are associating this with that act. So you get addicted to a point where you start interfering with your personal life. And also, you get to a point where you start getting dependency. So you cannot stay without it. Even when you're going, let's say, for a vacation somewhere, you must tuck it somewhere in your bag. So you start using masturbation as a coping mechanism to escape from a certain stressor, and now you start developing that dependence on it. So every time you're getting that stress, you end up doing that. Like, for example, you're getting cramps each and every time. So you use maybe masturbation for that, to try to, reduce the effects of the cramps, and you start getting that dependence. Or maybe just something, a stressor that is there on a daily basis, like the bills, like I usually say. And that stress, you take it onto the lower drawer of the closet. It's not going to be healthy. And so many other that we're not going to focus on, like social withdrawal. Like, you feel like you have everything that you need, so you don't need other people. So I think it's a bad thing anyway. It's a good and a bad thing. Masturbation is not entirely evil. We have some benefits, not only to the sector that usually supply the toys or the power company that will supply power to the dyno. We have other benefits. If you scroll back to the video we made about masturbation in men, you'll pick some of such benefits. And we're going to add more. There will be more to the feminine side. Something you might not know is YouTube don't really like such topics. So you might find that such videos that you usually make here, some of them can be restricted when it comes to distribution, or you find that they are demonetized, which I don't really care about. The best thing that you can actually do is subscribe and make sure you ring the bell so that every time I upload a video, you are notified, so that even if it's restricted, you are still going to be notified, because you have to talk about these things, and especially from a professional point of view. Number 1, strengthening pelvic floor muscles by exercising them through either sex, can be masturbation, can be exercises, can be Kegel. So many exercises you can actually do to strengthen your pelvic floor muscles to either counter something like urine incontinence or maybe loose vagina. There's so many things that you can actually do to exercise them. One of such can be masturbation, which is highly not encouraged. Number 2, pain relief that you get from endorphins that you release, but this is temporary. And we have better ways of managing cramps, pain than just masturbation. Number 3, improving the immune system. Sexual activities, whether this is through masturbation or partnered sex, improves immune system, but they should not replace food. Food is the primary giver of everything that you have in the body, including your immune system, so it should start with food. Improved vaginal health that comes with a libido due to frequent stimulations and exercises that will make that area holistically healthy. And also adventure, exploration. You just want to know which switch is a one-way switch, which one is a two-way switch, which one you'll have to press once, which one you have to press and hold, so that you make it better when you are with an actual partner. So not replacing the partner, but you're getting to know how to make it better when you have an actual partner, just for adventure. And don't get hooked here. And finally, and this is not to mean that we don't have the advantages, we have them, and some of them you know them. This is a reduction in UTIs and STIs. And earlier on I said that you can get STIs and UTIs from the toys that you're using. But in this case, this is the human-to-human interactions that can give you UTIs and STIs. They become reduced when you just decide to masturbate instead of having like an actual partnered sex. Now, there's several things that you usually do wrong. One is hygiene. You don't disinfect the toys. If you don't, you increase chances of you getting an infection. Sharing. When you're sharing, you will really need to either not share or you will really disinfect that thing, because it can act as a fomite. A fomite is a physical object that can actually carry a pathogen. Number 2, the size of the toys that people are using out there. Outrageous. Try your best to imitate what you're going to get in an actual human being. Number 3, if you must masturbate, at least use lubrication to reduce chances of desensitization, injuries, and all those. Another one is set boundaries. Don't let compulsive disorders lead you to having masturbation, because that's going to be a habit. So try to look for something that you can replace, a healthy habit, like walking or maybe running or maybe reading. Just try to look for something that can replace that. Balance. Don't overdo it. Try to do most of the time with a partner. That will be better. Avoid overstimulation. You want to crank the speed all the way up to the end of the odometer. Try to avoid that. Try to replicate what you're going to get in a human being. And finally, try to balance it such that you're not doing it so much to a point where you're doing it less with a partner. Try to do it more with a partner and less with masturbation. If you're struggling with masturbation, I'm going to make a video about some of the things you can actually do to get out of this habit. And also I'm going to bring in a specialist, because I've seen this is something that we really need to talk about. Every time I mention about masturbation, it gets a lot of attention. And I think this is a society thing, and we can all sit down and have a conversation, and either if this is a bad habit, something that's negatively affecting your life, we get to see ways of getting out of it.